The Rebel Capitalist Show. Now, we've got the media, and there is just so much propaganda in the West. I don't know if you're staying current with the Western media because you're in Singapore, but it's just it just seems obnoxious at times. But I know that there's an equal amount of propaganda probably on the Russian side. So how in your career of investing, how do you sift through the propaganda to try to find the truth as to what's actually happening?
It is an extremely insightful question, and I'm delighted you asked it. What I tell my daughters who I'm trying to teach how to live in the world, I tell them try to read or listen to 4 or 5 sources from 4 or 5 different countries, because every country tells you the truth. They think they're telling you the truth. But the problem is, if you listen to 5 different countries, it cannot all be the truth. It's only, and I do it myself. This is why I try to teach my children. You have to listen to the sources from everywhere, and then you still might not get it right. Then you have to put it in your poor brain and turn it around and figure out what's really happening, especially in war. I'm not the first person to know that, what was the saying? Truth is the first casualty of war. Even the Greeks knew that thousands of years ago. American senator said that in the First World War. Truth is the first casualty of war. So at least if you know that, you got a leg up, because then you will realize, okay, now we have to figure out what's really happening. And that requires listening to stories from everywhere. You listen to the Russian side, the Ukrainian side, the American side. They all tell you a different story.
Just as kind of a learning thought experiment, I mean, you've known some incredible investors in your life, and you've known the top guys and gals in the business. What would you say the top 3 attributes that make up a good investor that us amateurs looking on could learn from? Is it risk management? That's what I see all the time. Or is there something more to it? What's your insight there?
Well, I don't know that I have the answer. I would become a great investor myself if I did. My main thing is the ability to stand against the crowd, or the ability to look at what's happening and say, wait a minute, that's not the right thing. That's not reality. If everybody's saying the sky is blue, these guys go over and look out the window to see if the sky is blue. And then often they say, the sky is not blue. And then they act. When everybody's shrieking, and on the TV and on the internet, everybody's saying the sky is blue, the sky is blue. Some guy's smart enough to go look out the window. It's amazing to me how many people, if the government says the sky is blue, will not even look out the window, not even ask. I can tell you, recently in Singapore, there was a guy, charlatan, a crook, who was telling the whole world that he had a huge business with Rio Tinto, the gigantic mining company, and that he was selling lead to them, huge amounts. And he raised hundreds of millions of US dollars because he had this very lucrative business of buying and selling to Rio. Nobody even called up Rio Tinto to say, who is this guy? You know this guy? Are you doing hundreds of millions of? All they had to do was make one phone call, and they would have found out the whole gang was a fraud. I mean, he's in jail now, as he should be. But what is the shock to me? It's like I say, I mean, I'm not the first to know. Many people have learned that if the government says something enough times, everybody believes it. And back to the answer to your question is, it's the people who have enough sense or curiosity or whatever to go against the crowd, or to understand that the crowd cannot be right and that we should do something else.
Yeah, everyone likes to call them. I've noticed everyone likes to call themselves a contrarian investor until an opportunity comes up where it's very, very difficult to pull the trigger. And then all of a sudden they're saying, oh, well, I'm going to hold off on this one. It reminds me of when COVID really hit the markets in March of 2020. And I mean, people thought the world was ending. And the contrarian play back then was to step in and buy. And, that was the right thing to do. But very, very few people did. All the people that call themselves contrarian investors, they were still sitting on the sidelines. So it's one thing to say it, it's a whole different thing to do it.
Yeah, well, you ask what about successful investors? Those are the ones who do it, who figure it out and do it. And back to the beginning of this conversation, I would like to be investing in Russia right now. Cannot. And maybe I'm lucky that I cannot invest in Russia. But these opportunities come up periodically, and everybody is terrified. And the government tells you, blah, blah, blah. Please do not get your investment advice from the government, any government, certainly not the US government. You're going to go broke if you rely on governments for your investment advice.
Yeah.
Look out the window and make up your own minds.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And be patient. Yeah, that's one thing. We'll end on that. One of your quotes from Jack Schwager, he was asking you what your investment strategy was. And you said you just wait till there's a big pile of money sitting in the corner, and then you just go pick it up. And he kept pushing you, and he said, well, Jim, what if you have a view that the market's going to go up? Don't you try to play that view? And I think you told him specifically that that's the quick way to the poorhouse.
It is. But I mean, it's amazing to me that if you're a trader, you cannot do it. I mean, Roy Newberger had some great traders in the world. Roy Newberger's dead now, but these guys couldn't wait 5 minutes before they bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold. That's not my style. Yeah. My style, I have learned, is to wait until literally, oh, look at all that money over there. Yeah. I just have to go over there and get it. Yeah. But you have to wait for those things to happen. And George, as you know, then after you do something, you wait for it to play out. You don't go jumping in and out all day, every day. You wait. If you buy something that you know is going to work, you wait. And if you're right, it's going to go up for years. At least that's my style. Find something that will go up for years. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, there'll be panics, you'll be scared at times. But if you can just do nothing for a long time, I'm lazy. I like investing like this. I like just waiting till I find something and then I don't have to do anything. Yeah. I wait until some other change comes along.
Yeah. What's incredibly ironic is the amount of discipline required to pick up that money once you see it sitting in the corner. It's not that easy.
Well, yes. But you've been waiting, and if you've been observing and doing your homework, doing your research, you will realize, that's it. Yeah. Everybody watching this knows a lot about something, whether it's cars or fashion or something. They should be successful investors because they just should wait until they see something that's changing dramatically in cars or fashion. Mm-hmm. Then they can do research and act.
Yeah.
But George, it's amazing how many people you can have this conversation with and they say, you're right. You're right. I'm going to do that now. But then they say, just give me one hot tip though.
Yeah.
Just one hot tip. Everybody wants a hot tip. Everybody wants to be rich this week, including me.
Yeah, right.
Right. But hot tips will send you to the poorhouse.
That's right.